leadership starts out with some pretty strong language here. And the idea here is this word commitment. So top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the QMS by, and then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 requirements there. And it doesn't say top management shall ensure, which we saw the word shall ensure that used previously. But the idea here is that we don't want to see a quality management system that's delegated out to everybody else and leadership is not engaged. What we want to see is harmony between the way the business is led and managed and the efforts that you're putting in to deploy and maintain your quality management system. So how do you go about demonstrating leadership? Well, first and foremost, taking accountability for the effectiveness of the QMS. So not delegating that effectiveness out to other people. The thought is, leadership should be checking the effectiveness and being held responsible for the effectiveness of the QMS, ensuring that the quality policy and objectives are established and are aligned or compatible with the context and strategic direction of the organization. So we see kind of two clauses back to back here that are talking about this concept of having metrics and policies and procedures that really, and the word here is integration, really integrates the QMS within your organization's business processes. Well, there's a little note down here that says business processes. Reference to business in this international standard can be interpreted broadly to mean those activities that are core to the purpose of the organization's existence, whether the organization is public, private, for profit or non-for-profit. But the idea here is leadership needs to be accountable. It needs to be an initiative that is being ran by the leadership of the organization. You have policies and procedures that are connected into, what I like to call one systematic approach. You don't have your business system here and then your QMS here. They need to be integrated. The idea of item D here is promoting the use of the process approach. And there are a few areas in the standard. In fact, if you go to Control F and put in process approach, you could see there are 10 areas in the standard where this is discussed. So process approach basically meaning the PDCA cycle of the process approach enables an organization to plan its processes and their interactions. So going back to this here, how do we take a process approach and how is that really demonstrated and led and encouraged by leadership? And the same with risk-based thinking. This is the only place in the standard you actually see this used, but the idea here is when we're doing work, what does that work activity affect? What other processes are down the line or up the line? And using a risk-based thinking approach that allows us to kind of keep our eyes and ears open for risk and opportunities, things that could come up that may cause a problem or may prevent us from fulfilling the process expectations that we have. E is ensuring that resources are needed for the QMS. This is one I see as a problem a lot of times. So as leaders of organizations, sometimes you'll really pin heavy responsibility on, say, a production or manufacturing manager without really giving a lot of consideration to the commitment to provide the resources that are needed in order to achieve that desired result. So this is one that I really like, and you'll see where this comes up in management review where it wasn't really there as an input before. What are the resources that are going to be needed for an effective QMS, and how do you ensure those resources are made available? I'm going to go back up here and put in shall, just to keep us on track with highlighting the shalls. 511F, communicating, again, this is back to leadership demonstrating and showing its commitment to the QMS by communicating the importance of an effective quality management in the conformity of the quality management system requirements. So you should hear leaders say things like, hey, what do our documents say? What do our procedures say? What are the metrics that we're trying to achieve in purchasing or logistics or HR or our training process? And then G is ensuring that the QMS achieves its intended results. Well, how do you know that? And the best way that I found is through key measures, either process performance indicators or key performance indicators, KPIs, for the various processes that you have within your organization, reviewing those KPIs in aggregate to really give you a health scorecard of your system, engaging, directing, and supporting persons to contribute to the effectiveness of the QMS. So how do you do that? How do you engage, and not just involving, but this word engaging, support persons to contribute to the effectiveness and the improvement? This next one says promoting improvement of the QMS and its processes, and supporting other relevant management roles. So basically, not everyone could be the top manager or the top management staff of an organization. You're going to have subsequent manager level roles. You might have a team leader, a line leader, something like that. How can management show and demonstrate its leadership and commitment to the QMS by making sure that they're supporting other relevant management roles to demonstrate their leadership as it's applied to their area of responsibility? So that's 511 in a nutshell. 512, customer focus. Top management shall demonstrate leadership and commitment with respect to the customer, or customer focus. So this is really more inward facing, where 5.12 is more external facing. So to make sure that customer and any applicable statutory regulatory requirements are determined, understood, and consistently met. So this might be your end customer, whoever's buying your products or services, and this would be perhaps a state law or a federal law within your jurisdiction. So top management needs to understand what all of those requirements are and make sure that they're consistently being met. B is the risk and opportunities that can affect the conformity of products and services, and the ability to enhance customer satisfaction are determined and addressed. So how do you not only hit the minimum requirements, but enhance customer satisfaction over time, continuing to add, let's say, new features or better service or better value overall? And then C is the focus of enhancing customer satisfaction, and that is maintained. So not just, okay, the customer was happy once, we're good, just continue making product. But no, you need to make sure that you're focused on what are the, as the standard calls it, ever-changing needs of interested parties. So what's something in the automotive world is, all right, you want to be able to connect your smartphone to your car. So that becomes every year more and more of an expectation. So making sure that that satisfaction is maintained, and we know that customer satisfaction will definitely change over time. 5.2, this is establishing the quality policy. So top management shall establish, implement, maintain a quality policy that's appropriate to the purpose and context and supports its strategic direction, provides a framework for setting quality objectives, includes a commitment to satisfy applicable requirements, and a commitment to continually improve the QMS. Now, communicating the quality policy, it shall be available and maintained. So you have the latest, greatest version as documented information. So this is number 2 in the land of what needs to be maintained, documented information. The first one was the scope of the QMS, and the quality policy is the second. It needs to be communicated, understood, and applied within the organization. So think about that. If you were to recite the quality policy in front of an auditor, they might turn to you and go, okay, how do you prove that? How do you apply the policy to your job? And that auditee should say something probably along the lines of, well, I have my standards at my workspace. If I run into a process or a product that doesn't meet those standards, I raise a red flag, or I pause and fix the issue. And I know I'm doing well because of the metrics that I have posted in my work area, so on and so forth. B is be available to interested parties as appropriate. So you may get a request from any of the interested parties that you've defined asking to see your quality policy. That needs to be made available to them. And 5.3, organizational roles and responsibilities and authority. So top management shall ensure that the responsibilities and authority for relevant roles are assigned, communicated, and understood within the organization. So it's not good enough to just have a job description or job chart or competency matrix or what have you, but it's what is it that each of the applicable roles need to do, and making sure that anybody with those roles understand what that role is. Top management shall assign the responsibility and authority for ensuring the QMS conforms to the requirements of this standard, ensuring that processes are delivering their intended outputs, reporting the performance of the QMS and any opportunities for improvement, in particular to top management. Normally that's done in a management review, to ensure the promotion of customer focus and ensuring the integrity of the QMS is maintained when there's changes. So that's a quick rundown of clause 5.